I'd like to make a toast to the new administration, and this video might be interesting for people who live outside the US. I follow so many geopolitical analysts, and many of them are very upset with Trump and his foreign policy, especially what he's doing with Israel and so on. And many Democrats are very upset over him ending all these different programs. The media's upset. Some judges are blocking his executive orders. So I want to give you guys my take, okay? People are like saying Elon Musk is running the government and stealing our data and all this stuff. This is how I see it. Our government is intensely corrupt. We all knew this, right? We all knew about the lobbying, but I didn't know about all the kickbacks through all these different funds like US aid. We kind of knew that there were Social Security payments going out to people who are no longer alive. Same for Medicare payments. But did you know that the federal government has the retirement workers' information in paper in an old mine that's 25 stories deep, all on paper? Like, there's a lot of corruption, a lot of mismanagement, a lot of money going out to unknown places. And there is so much corruption. They barely just started with some of the agencies. The Pentagon has never been audited. The Secretary of the Treasury just flew to Ukraine to meet with Zelensky. I think he wants to know, where's all that money we gave you? Zelensky doesn't know. $100 billion of it, he says he can't account for. There is so much corruption in the government that people who are talking about the wars are missing the fact that you cannot clean this up all at once. The war stuff is the last to go. If you have observed how much the Democrats have been fighting to nominate Tulsi Gabbard, Robert Kennedy, who wants to reform our health system, our medical system. Tulsi Gabbard is not a warmonger. There is so much resistance to change. There is so much resistance to change. There is so much corruption. And yeah, someone's going to say your hands look really big. I've had people tell me that on a video, your hands look really big, because they don't understand that my camera doesn't have like a depth thing, okay? Same hand, okay, these are my hands. Now I'm going to bring this one closer, and it's going to look big. Some guy is going to leave a comment about my big hands. That's for you. There's always some guy having a problem with something. Now I even, out of respect for these guys who get super triggered with my flat tires on my bike, out of respect for you, to not trigger you, I no longer show my bike. Okay, so I'm trying to not annoy people. But the point here is that there's so much corruption that it cannot all be tackled at once. They are tackling something that never in the history of our country has been tackled. Auditing the government. No one has done this before. By the way, Trump was once a Democrat. The Democrats wouldn't let him in the party, so he ran as independent and then as Republican. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. She even endorsed Bernie Sanders, and he voted against her in the confirmation hearing. Robert Kennedy was a Democrat. I was a Democrat. Joe Rogan was a Democrat. So many of us were Democrats, and the Republican Party has now changed. It's no longer the party of the rich, it's the party of the people. Kind of like the Tea Party. And the Democrats have lost their way. They became as corrupt as the Republicans, and they went off on this DEI, social justice engineering. The point I'm trying to make is good things are happening. The people that do the geopolitical analysis, they're very upset with what we're doing in the Middle East and so on. You gotta wait. It can't be all undone at once. The last thing to go will be our wars and our involvement in Israel. That will be the last thing to go. That will be the last thing to go. They cannot tackle the foreign policy, the war stuff, until we clean house at home. Getting rid of the illegal immigrants, getting the judges to stop blocking. We have judges, federal judges, that are blocking the president from enforcing the law. Today, there was a woman that was at Pam Bondi's press conference whose daughter was killed for $6 from this illegal immigrant who had already killed 4 people and raped 3 others. They arrested him and deported him. That's what they're going after right now. They're going after the illegals who are criminals, but they're going to get rid of all of them because they're going against everything that's illegal. Fraud, abuse, waste, government waste, kickbacks, and just wait till we see all the kickbacks that the Congress people got. Elizabeth Warren is worth $75 million. I want to see her kickbacks. Did you know that the Clintons, Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton, got was it $80 million from U.S. aid? They're all kickback groups. And I can't wait for all these people. I hope they all get sued or something, or their money get taken back. Trump keeps talking about kickbacks. I think what U.S. aid did, they sent money to some place, and then they got kickbacks for the people. That's how these Congress people got rich. So we need to clean house. One step at a time. We need to go through all the agencies and clean house. Tulsi Gabbard, in as Director of National Intelligence, is going to start giving the president some good press briefings. And we need Kennedy to reform our health system and our medical system. These are the main changes. And we need to get rid of the Department of Education and start educating our youth. The whole Israel thing, I know people are upset about that, but you cannot tackle that right off the bat. Even, I don't know why, I do not know the hold that Israel has on the U.S. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. They say Israel is our ally. For some reason, that's going to be the last one, I think, where we clean house. But Israel is not the only one. We do a lot of bad things. How we have subverted Africa, and we give you money if you do what we want. But anyway, I think what we're doing is really good. They're just auditing, they're cleaning up the mess, and the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, they have a website. You can go there and see everything that they're finding. Their press briefings every day. This president actually talks to the people, and I love Catherine Levitt, the press secretary. She answers all the questions. These women, Pam Bondi and Catherine Levitt, they're intelligent, and Tulsi Gabbard, intelligent women, well-spoken, classy, well-dressed, and they're beautiful. I am so done with these purple-haired, whiny, transy, mentally deranged people that we had. Joe Biden, who was checked out, Kamala Harris, who couldn't put a cogent thought together, John Pierre, whatever, the spokesperson, who just lied and evaded. It was all so much crap, and the mainstream media just lying because they were all paid by U.S. aid. So we're cleaning things up, and this is good. So just be patient. Don't get so upset. Look at the bright side. And a lot of these journalists I was following, I'm very disappointed because they're just complaining about what isn't happening rather than getting excited about finally some truth coming out, some light, some truth coming out. Why shouldn't we audit the government? Why shouldn't we audit the Pentagon? And why shouldn't we audit the Federal Reserve? And guess what? Trump signed the executive order, or whatever he had to sign, to release the files on the Kennedy assassination, the Martin Luther King assassination, and the Epstein client list. And he's looking for the 300,000 missing children. Why are people upset about this? I fail to understand. I'm excited. I've just been busy just keeping up on all the news. I'm finally feeling hopeful about our government and all the stuff that they're up to. It's just so great after all the lying Obama and lying Bush and Clinton, they were all just scum. Trump isn't really a Republican in the traditional sense. He's a populist. He's more like a Tea Party guy. And Musk has restored free speech. Remember when we were locked down, we couldn't say that COVID was a scam, that killed 0.0025% of the people. They forced us to get injections. I didn't get the jab. And if you said anything about it, your YouTube channel was shut down. You were kicked off Twitter and Facebook and everything. Remember that? That was the Democrats doing it, trying to control your free speech. Yeah, I can't wait for all the stuff to come out. The whole January 6th stuff, it was all an FBI inside job. And I don't know if they're ever going to talk about what really happened on 9/11 and how the buildings pancake collapsed like a demolition. There's so much stuff that we need to get through that. The foreign stuff is kind of improving because Trump is now making peace with Putin. I'm very happy to hear about that. They're going to end the war with Ukraine. And I think maybe they'll partition off Ukraine, where part goes to Russia, part goes to Poland, part goes to Hungary. I heard something like that on one of the shows that I watch. So that's good. But the Israel thing, I wouldn't hold my breath, because there's some kind of a thing that Israel has on the U.S. that I don't understand. I don't know why we're supporting them. I don't think we should. I think we should do with Israel what we do with Ukraine, as like, hey, that's your war. We're out. So I don't know. Okay? But don't focus on that. Look at all the good stuff that's happening. Because there's something about the Israel thing. The people complaining about the Israel thing should instead start telling us why we're involved in Israel. There are different ideas. One is that it's the wealthy donors that have infiltrated the universities, the lobbying group, every facet of U.S. society, and that you do need money to get elected. But look, they're going against a lot, big pharma and all that. They're not going against Wall Street either. The other theory is that Israel is our battleship in the Middle East, and that we need to have a presence in the Middle East, and that we need a destabilized Middle East so that they can't become too powerful. But I don't know. Maybe there's another reason that I don't understand. But what we do know is that Israel is a colonial project that is, and Gaza is recognized by the United Nations as Palestinian land. And Israel wants to take it over, and Trump wants to expel the Palestinians. That's what he says. That's the other thing. People make all these news shows about what he says, but sometimes he says things just to get a conversation going or for effect, and then people get all worked up. He's not going to expel the Palestinians. Like, no one's going to take them, because Egypt and Jordan can't risk it. It would destabilize their populations. Number two, you can't expel someone who isn't willing to go. They're not willing to go. And we can't defeat Hamas, the resistance group. That's their land. No one's willingly going to leave their land. He just says stuff for effect to start a conversation. You should just ignore it. And instead, you should think about why the Palestinians have their rights ignored. So that's kind of a difficult one. I myself would be like, if I were a Palestinian, I would want to get the hell out of there and take my kids and go where they're safe. I wouldn't want to stay there. I'm not so attached to any particular land, especially if it's in rubble. Like where I live in San Diego, if this were all bombed and in rubble, I wouldn't be like, this is my land, I'm going to stay. I would get the hell out of here. So I don't really get it, but, I guess there's history and all this stuff I don't get. But don't get so focused on that. Just look at the good things that are happening. I'm so tired. I spent years hating politics. Like, these people are lying to me. I can tell they're lying. They're not making any changes. I was so upset. And now I'm finally feeling excited about stuff going on for the first time in my life. So I want to focus on that. I want to feel hopeful for once, you guys. And the things I see, they're good. I think the audits are good. And even if Elon Musk were to see all my tax records, I don't care. Everybody's seen my tax records. They're with the IRS. I don't care. Elon Musk has restored free speech to Twitter. I don't care what he does. Whatever he does is better than the bullshit that we had with all the lies and all the cover-up. I always said the main thing I was worried about with Kamala Harris was them silencing our free speech. That's what happened during COVID. You weren't allowed to talk. You weren't allowed to question. And now you can talk, you can question. They're even inviting independent journalists into the press briefing room. They answer questions. Trump answers questions. You can ask anything, they answer your questions. You know, if you have a problem, go ask a question. I'm just done with the naysayers. I think we're off on a good track, but let's see what happens. I'm watching it every day. Let's see what happens. I just got this martini glass I ordered from Amazon. It took like a month to get here. And it's like a non-breakable martini glass. So I'm like, I'm gonna have a martini. Thanks for watching my video.